The Freedom Village have been sexually abused before they get there. This is a wicked world, people. But we say to her, nobody's ever going to hurt you again, sweetheart, I promise you. Nobody is ever going to hurt you again. Not as long as you're here. I guarantee you, your abusive days are over, sweetheart. If I could wave a magic wand and take away all that hurt and all that pain, I would do it in a heartbeat. But I can guarantee you this, nobody here is going to lay a hand on you. And you can sleep tight tonight because Jesus is on guard. That's what we tell people. We give them hope. We let a girl know, and she's, well, yeah, but you don't understand, Pastor. I had an abortion. Well, maybe you need to hear Jeanette Way's testimony. And Mrs. Way? Yeah, Mrs. Way. Mother of 4. Dean in the girls' dormitory. Whoever sponsored Jeanette to come into the program, that girl has won thousands to Christ and probably kept 2,000 girls from having an abortion. That was a real good investment. When that person gets to heaven and the throng bigger than the people, greater than 10 times the people in this room at least, run up and say, thank you for giving to the Lord. I was the light that was saved. I say, where did I ever see you? Oh, you didn't, but sir, you were Jeanette Way's adopted teen, or you were Jeanette Way's sponsor. I got saved, listened to her testimony, or she came to our church and shared, and I was about ready to have an abortion, but this is my little daughter now. It's an investment that goes on to eternity. So that's why I get a kick out of it when people say to me, oh, Pastor, I pray for you because you're just working so hard. You got to be kidding me. I thank you for the prayers, but I wouldn't trade what I get to do for anything in this world. Nothing can compare to walking around that campus, watching Mary with little Leah, watching Jeanette with her 4 children, watching the news, and watching my own daughter-in-law. My own daughter-in-law, she's a beautiful Hispanic young lady from the inner city of New York City, drug addict when she came to Freedom Village. My daughter-in-law. Her mother dropped her off at her grandmother's door when she was 5 months old. She's never seen her mother since that day, and her father's been in prison for murder her whole life. She's my daughter-in-law. One of the finest moms you'll ever meet. One of the godliest, sweetest gals you'll ever meet. That's what Freedom Village is about. That's what you're giving to. You're touching lives every day, and you're stealing them away from Satan, and you're giving them a chance to change their life. Harley told me today, or the other day, he's going to be a Philharmonic orchestra leader. Someday, he's going to be waving the big baton. Former drug addict, kid with no hope, one of the finest young men you'd ever want to meet. This guy right here, drugs, gangs, New York City, going absolutely nowhere. You won't find a finer young man than that young man standing right there. You won't find a finer. Katie, stand up back there, would you? Katie? This young lady right here is from your area, right here. She's on staff now. Came there with a myriad of problems. And she is the mainstay. She's the director of the Girls Horse Program. Every weekend, just about throughout the summer, she has been handling 4,000 pounds of horses behind and in front of a wagon, pulling the Victor Singers through different towns all over the area. Over 200,000 people have seen our parade group, our parade ministry this year, and received firsthand information about the Lord and Freedom Village and what He does in kids' lives and whatever. And it's one of your Canadian young people that heads all that up, and that's that young lady right there. So when I ask you to give, when Mike asks you to give, we're asking you to invest, not only in the life of a kid, but in your own future. Because one of these days, all those cars that you drove here tonight, left behind. The houses, left behind. The clothes, left behind. That one drives my mother crazy. She called me one day. I want to talk to you as my pastor, not as my son. Okay, Mom. What is it? I just finished reading Tim LaHaye's book, Left Behind. Yeah, good book. I know Tim. Yeah. I want to know, do we really leave our clothes behind? I'd have to understand, my mother, I've never seen my mother other than when she had surgery when I was a young boy. I've never seen my mother in bed. My mother and dad were always up at the crack of dawn and what have you. My mother's very proper. She's 94 years old and still very fashionable and whatever. I don't know if we're going to really leave our clothes behind. I said, yeah, we are, Mom. Well, I'll tell you what, he better have those robes with him when he gets here. I'm not flying through the sky naked. That's my mother. That's good. But you will leave it all behind. And I believe with every fiber of my soul, we're well within the envelope of that day. Mm-hmm. I think we're in the last days. Yes. I hear a lot of people talking about it getting better. I don't think it's going to get better. But here's the best news I know of. Whosoever hearkeneth will go see. God is faithful to the faithful. I get letters every day from people that say, well, they can't afford to tithe. May I remind you, tithing is a percentage. It is not an amount. You may not be able to give like you used to, but you still better be giving. Because if you're not giving and you're not planting, you will not harvest, my friend, under any circumstance. But that's your business. My business is kids. Try and take care of these kids. Right now, Mike, we got a bunch of kids from Canada who want to come to Freedom Village. And we got a bunch of Canadian kids down there right now that don't have any adopted teens and need some help. And I will say this, you know I had to shut down intakes from Canada recently. Folks, I'm not asking you to take care of the state kids. I'm not asking you to pay the bills of the state. I'm only asking you to take care of your Canadian kids that are at Freedom Village and to help us bring more in that want to come and help save their life. But I think the neatest thing at Freedom Village is that those who have adopted that young man right there have an investment in his future. Those who have adopted this young man right here have an investment in his future. Those who have adopted that young lady and support her now on staff at Freedom Village have an investment in every life she touches. And so when you get to heaven and all that throng comes, I'm telling you it's an investment. Now, here's what I'm asking you to do. I want you tonight to help me. I need a bunch of adopted teams, and I'm asking you to do something special. Normally it's $30 here in Canada, but the exchange rate is pretty even right now. So what I'm going to do, what I'm asking you to do, is help us out for the next 3 months and get us through Christmas. We entered the last week of December, Christmas. We entered the last week before Christmas last year with 52 kids who had absolutely nothing coming from anybody. Now God worked a Christmas miracle, and I thank God for it. But we entered the last week before Christmas with 52 kids who had absolutely nobody in their adopted teen family. I'm trying to get ahead of that right now, and I will pledge to you this. If you will join the adopted teen program for the next 3 months, that'd be $25 a month for the next 3 months, $75 between now and the end of the year. If you're not absolutely, totally blessed out of your mind by those kids and being a part of this thing, then you just say, that's it, I'm done, I'm over with, and I don't want to be any of it. Fine. But I want to make sure every kid from Canada has a bunch of people from Canada who are behind them and they know are supporting them. And then I need a bunch of people who will be sponsors and literally give a kid a chance. I said at the onset, I don't know too many ministries where you can write a check for $500 and know you got an 85% chance of seeing that kid in heaven. And when it comes to adopted teens, You can come visit them. This is a program where you can be involved as much as you want to. Some people send $25 a month and that's all they ever do. Other people get into it. We'll send you the background. Matter of fact, you can pick them up on the way out tonight. We've got a bunch of Canadian kids profiles on the back table tonight, and you can write them. You can send them a birthday card on their birthday. You'll have all that pertinent information. You can come visit them.